Smart assistants are becoming extremely popular nowadays. The Google Home Mini in particular was released in 2017, and last year Google released its second generation, the Google Nest Mini. But what's the difference between them? Is it worth upgrading to the newer model? Which one should you buy? I'll answer all of this right now. Overall, both generations work the same. They accept the same commands, they support the same apps, but even though the differences are not huge, they do exist. Starting off with the name, as the device is now called the Google Nest Mini instead of the Google Home Mini. Also, the design is extremely similar, but there are minor changes that we must talk about. The chalk version of the Nest Mini has a white bottom, while the first generation has an orange bottom, but the top part is still the same on both of them. Besides, the second generation has a small opening on the back in case you want to mount it to a wall, which is not possible in the first model without the use of extra accessories. It now has an extra touch area where you can tap to play, pause music, or pick up phone calls. And it also has the addition of an extra LED light on each side that indicates when you increase or decrease the volume, for example. You can adjust the volume the same way on the Google Home Mini, but it doesn't have the LED lights on the sides in order for you to visualize when you're tapping. Also, the Nest Mini has a DC power jack instead of a micro USB, and it now has a more powerful power adapter of 15 watts. Both products have almost identical dimensions, and the only physical button is the one that allows you to mute or unmute the microphone in case you want to have privacy. However, I don't bother muting it because I don't think it is convenient to always have to unmute it whenever you want to use the Smart Assistant. I think it loses a little bit of its purpose. Talking about its speakers, the Nest Mini had an upgrade and it now has 2 times stronger bass than the original Mini. But I have to confess that I don't really use them as speakers. I use it to set alarms, play something on the TV, turn the lights on or off, control my August smart lock, the Nest thermostat. I also have a shooting routine that I use whenever shooting videos, that I turn my video lights on and then my regular lights off, but I don't really use it as a speaker. If you want to use the Nest Mini or the Google Home Mini to listen to news sometimes, listen to podcasts, background music, it works great and the sound quality is great for that. However, if you're looking specifically for a Smart Assistant by Google that is also a great speaker, I would suggest you invest in the Google Home Max or the Google Nest Hub. The Nest Mini also has 3 microphones, 1 mic extra if compared to the first Mini. It now has improved voice recognition and it can supposedly hear you better. I confess that I've noticed a slight difference while using the newer model, as I feel like I have to scream less in order to activate it, but this can be only a perception as I'm usually on my computer and the newer version is closer to me than the other ones. I did a few tests and both generations seem to respond the same, so it may only be a perception. From time to time, I see myself screaming at them when I'm not in the office. Regarding the colors, the Nest Mini is available on chalk, charcoal, sky, and coral, and the Home Mini is available in chalk, charcoal, aqua, and coral. Also, the Nest Mini is available for $49 and the Home Mini for $39. Now, is it worth upgrading to the Nest Mini? Well, in my opinion, it is not necessary. As you can see, the differences between them are not that huge, so if you already own a few Google Home Minis at your place, I would stick with them a little longer. Now, if you're thinking about buying one right now, I think it's really worth getting the newer version. The price is great and you get a few new features if compared to the previous Mini. But as I always say, if you end up getting an awesome deal in the first generation, why not? I always tell to everyone to really consider your budget, to really think about all of its differences and think if they're going to make a difference in your daily routine or not. Feel free to ask me any questions in the comments, and also if you're wondering if you should buy the Google Nest Mini or the Amazon Echo Dot, I will be posting a comparison soon, so stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.